Hello, I am Jezzibell Gilmore, and I am the Chief Commercial Officer of Connectbase. Today, I'm here with Ben Edmond, our CEO and founder, and he has been in the industry for even longer than I. He started his career at MCI as an account development executive. From there, he graduated to TNT. He ran marketing as the VP of marketing, and he went out from there to global capacity as the chief revenue officer, and also chief marketing officer, where he ran marketing and sales. Then, when he left there, he started Connectbase in 2015. And I think that from all the various experiences that you've had with the different positions that you've held in the telecommunications industry, you've gained a lot of different insights into the challenges of the telecommunications industry, how the commerce is conducted, and the difficulty between buying and selling from all different perspectives, and from a asset owning service provider to an asset-less service provider. So why don't you give us your perspective on what really pushed you to start Connectsprings?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Jezzibell, and just sharing my perspective on why Connectbase and why it needed to be started was really shaped by the different experiences I had. If you look at MCI as the second largest long distance provider, big company, lots of programs and processes, and really gain that perspective of reality that even as big as they were, they didn't own everything everywhere. They needed, the market to help them. And that was just reinforced as I went into the TW experience, which was really through acquisition of Expedius. And we had 40 markets in the southern half of the United States where we owned assets, but still heavily relied on other people, but focused on creating value around the build process and the challenges of that build process, the manual steps that the industry had to go through, and the importance of focus. Where if you're going to win, you needed to know where and how to win. And then lastly, with global capacity, which was really about aggregating other people's networks, simplifying that experience, packaging it up and delivering it. And the challenges of buying in that environment were many. And seeing those different perspectives shaped, my desire and recognition that this is a really big problem for both sides, for buying and selling. And the problem could be solved if we tackle it the right way. And that led me to quit my job and start Connectbase.
That is an amazing story. We're going to have to come back to that later. But today we're here to talk about data-driven decision-making. And I think, to a lot of people, those are some big words. But what does it really mean from the telecommunications perspective to have data-driven decision-making?
It means a number of things to me. Ultimately, I'm a nerd at heart, as most people know. And, so using data to inform how decisions are made is just how I think. And when we look at our industry and recognize there's massive amount of fragmentation in the last mile into buildings, geography is a reality with a very capital intensive structure to serve that geography. And there's distribution in layers. There's direct sales, enterprise sales, residential sales, channel sales, wholesale sales, all kinds of different ways to get to a customer and a dollar. And because of those different perspectives around the how you serve and the fragmentation that it is and how you win customers and all the different forms of building a relationship, to me, it's using data to really understand how to allocate capital, how to allocate resources, how to make money, and how to deliver the best possible customer experience. And if you put data in those four frameworks, then ultimately you're going to run a better company than average.
For sure. right? Because data-based decision making is what reality is.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of our audience probably don't understand what are the resources that are available for making data-driven decisions. And, what are there? How can they use that?
I think it boils down to a number of things. The resources available to most in the industry start with a framework of what they have. What is their products? What is their assets? What is their capabilities? How do they understand that, framework compared to what their market is? And there's traditional ways of looking at their market from tools like Dun & Bradstreet and Zoom Info. There is ways of looking at your own capabilities, your network capabilities, your services capabilities from your systems perspective and your assets perspective. And then ultimately there is perspectives that matter a lot in our industry. What is my total addressable market? The total addressable market centers around, the art of the possible, which everyone should know. Where are you best positioned within that total addressable market, which is your current relationships and where you have a competitive strength to create focus. Your transactional data, what your sales pipeline looks like, what your quoting pipeline looks like, what your order pipeline looks like, what your ticketing pipeline, all your billing pipeline, all those things have really interesting data elements that help us make decisions, not only for those workflow, but where we should spend time, energy, and resources on other workflow as well.
Well, you talked about a lot of different types of data, right? And as a chief commercial officer myself, I don't have access to all of that data. So necessarily, and especially for many of my compatriots that run networks, how do they get their hands on that data? That's like gold.
It is gold. And it really starts with a mindset around, I'm going to digitize my business. Because until you make that decision, you're really at a competitive disadvantage. Those who rely on Excel and email to transact, to support, it's really hard to run a report and gain insights out of those tools. The alternative is, have a CPQ solution, configure a price quote, where you're getting a transactional record. You're not just automating something, you're getting a transactional record of that workflow so you can gain insight over time as you accumulate data. It's the same reason that why you want to serve your customers through APIs and portals instead of email responses and PDF documents, because yes, you're improving the customer experience. Yes, you're improving the speed of the transaction, but you're also gaining insight into each transaction when it's accumulated together. That's where the gold sits.
My husband used to say, you can't grab dead trees, but I am going to maybe improve that a little and say you can't grab, emails and Excels easily, because from my perspective, it's really difficult to pull a report of everybody sending things out via email. Like, how do I get access to everybody's email?
Yep.
So that makes tremendous amount of sense. Well, I think now we talked about all the different aspects that should be digitized, and so that you can collect the data to make data-driven decisions. Yep. What are the tools that's out there where, the systems that one can employ to help them to come to that data?
Yeah, I think it starts with, and this is where Connectbase really shines within the connectivity industry. We don't serve everyone, but we serve this industry with a purpose. Number one is digitize your market. Get a digital record of every location, whether it's on net, whether it's near net, whether it's off net, you're a reseller, you are a aggregator, you build networks, it doesn't matter. Every single location that you care about, residential, commercial, government, should have a digital record. Until you get to that point in an organized framework, you can't truly understand how you're positioned and what you're targeting with purpose. And that's what we do within the connected world. We start there as a framework. You want other tools like a CRM system. That creates a digital set of capabilities from an account and account management and sales pipeline perspective. You want a CPQ solution. Connectbase has built a configure price quote because within the market, you want to transact and you don't want to respond with email and PDFs. You want a record of every quote so you can understand that. Whether that's happening through an API, a portal, or an actual workflow for your internal reps, everything should be digitized there. In addition, as you start to layer on perspective, so you have your location management to understand your market. You have your CRM to manage your accounts and your sales pipeline. You have your configure price quote to drive your quoting activity. And then it's about providing insights to the demand and the supply so you can understand the competitive dynamics and opportunity. Because not every location and area is created equal. Not every competitor and competitive situation is the same. But as you start appending into your market intelligence these perspectives, and then layer in where you're actually winning, where you're actually focused on, now you can make decisions like, how many salespeople should I allocate? Where should I over allocate? What prospects are the best prospects? Where should I put more energy on upsells? Where should I build new network? Where should I stay away because competitive intensity has driven down the price so much? Those are really important things that are enabled by this ecosystem of systems that start with understanding your market, gravitate around the activity to get to a transaction, including taking the quote, digitizing it to the order, so you understand win-loss ratios, all the way through the ecosystem of how I deliver value for your customers.
So as a leader with all of these tools, I can make better decisions.
Absolutely.
Therefore, getting to better top-line revenue, better profit margin, and better utilization of my team's resources, and probably build a better relationship with my CFO, my CEO. But something you mentioned that really actually is so important to all of us today, which is to have a whole solution for the customer base, right? Because even as me, who's a consumer of all of these technologies,
Sure,
they don't always all work together. Are you telling me that Connectbase's product not only functions standalone to help our service providers, but can create a holistic solution with, you mentioned the CRM,
sure,
right? The ticketing system, the OSS, BSS. Is that all something that, from a holistic perspective, a CEO, a CIO, a Chief Commercial Officer, COO, could say, you know what, if we can pull Connectbase in, it can work with all of our existing system to create a holistic solution for us.
that's exactly right. And really, in today's market where service providers are trying to create digital businesses, because that is the opportunity in the future. Like if you're not keeping up with where the competitive realities are. So the relationship between the CEO, the CFO, the Chief Commercial Officer, and the Chief Information Officer has never been more important. And how Connectbase, helps accelerate that reality of not just being a standalone system, but exposing the right APIs and best practices around integrating our platform with GIS. What is GIS great at? Analyzing and understanding spatial data. What is the key element of spatial data? Location. What it is not great, GIS is not great at, is being the source of truth for the data, or that location record to do the detailed information needed, like the CRM does with the account. That's what Connectbase does with the location record, and it can feed in and elevate the GIS platform. Just like the billing system, the order management system, the CRM, it is ideal and best practices to have that integrated state. So as you close your new deal and you close it out on your Salesforce or Dynamics or whatever you're using from your CRM, record as a sale, it goes through the provisioning process. Now you've gone from a near net building to an on net building. No one should touch that building. It should just automatically update Connectbase, feed out to your channel partners, feed out to your wholesale sellers, feed to your internal CPQ with your best available products and pricing, and just circulate throughout an automated ecosystem internal to the service provider. And that's when, resources are consumed optimally, customer experience is elevated, more people focus on selling time and doing what they need to do rather than it moving data back and forth between different systems.
Sounds like the data-driven decision making needs to have a view of everything so that there's data input from all aspects of the business. And Connectbase allows the customer face to have visibility into so many different aspects of the business by digitizing their business with us.
Absolutely.
And so what are our audience supposed to do when they want to be getting in touch with us?
I think really the best action to take to engage us, one, go visit our website, www.connectbase.com. You're going to see video testimonials, use cases, press releases, write-ups on the products, and really help educate around data-driven approaches to running the business and how we help in the process. We're not everything to all people, but we really play a key role of connecting the dots together. In addition, reach out to our team members, ask for a demo, ask for engagement, talk about your current system stack, how you want to connect APIs, and really think from an ecosystem point of view. Ecosystem matter to some for buying, so they can reach for their enterprise customers. Ecosystems matter to some for selling, so they can maximize their assets and their capabilities, when they can't reach every customer directly. Like selling to the local Walmart, if you're just in North Dakota and you're not in Arkansas, is really, really hard. But you want to participate. Or it might be both sides of that. So think about that systematically of how you present the best sell and reach out to us and we can walk through best practices and how that's done.
Well, you heard it from the Ben that come to our website, take a look at what we do and some of our customer testimonials. See if any of these cases apply to you. But if you have any questions, reach out to us. And not only our team members, but Ben and I are both available to you at any point. So thank you for participating, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great day. Thanks, Jezzibell.
Thank you, Ben.